Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to talk about how my 3D printer is set up and how I'm handling fumes. So we'll start out right now. I have, you can see the standard enclosure from Creality. It's basically looks like a grow tent that's been repurposed as, an enclosure. It works pretty well. It's a zipper. We'll go inside right now. Now when I got the printer, I started printing some things just using PLA, and it wasn't that good. I made a lot of mistakes. And what do? Your printer fails, you go in there, you stick your nose in there. Stick your nose in there, a lot of smell. I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's good to breathe these fumes. Started looking around the internet and wanted to look, how do I get rid of these VOCs? How do I get rid of these fumes? Kept hearing carbon was the way to go. Saw some people did some small DIY filters involving some activated charcoal and literally like a computer fan. Tried that. 3D printed one of those things. Didn't really work. I wasn't satisfied. So then I said, hey, what about hydroponics? So what you're looking at is a hydroponic blower. The brand is AC Infinity, and I'm not promoting AC Infinity. I get no commissions from AC Infinity. I just happened to look into them, and I looked into other blowers on Amazon. A lot of them people were complaining they're very noisy. This thing's pretty sweet. The one you're looking at now is a 6-inch blower. It can move 400 CFM, 400 cubic feet per minute. They have one that's 4 inches. The 4-inch one, I just went with this one. It was available. I didn't care. I wanted to do some overkill. So basically, it's hooked up. It's sucking from proximity of the print bed. I got some zip ties holding it up. It's not exactly there, but the airflow is so strong that it's basically cleaning out the air pretty well when the enclosure is closed. So the goal is not to let anything get out of this enclosure, just to filter it before it even gets out. By the time I get in there, it's clean. It sucks it into this giant filter. It's a giant carbon filter. You don't see it, but it's a steel casing, all surrounded by carbon. There's a hole in the middle, like a cylinder in the middle where the air goes in. If I crank this sucker up to I usually keep it around 5, I can't even feel anything coming out of the cloth. It comes through the carbon and comes out through the cloth, just like wisps out there. If I crank it up to 10, I feel a slight puff of air on the surface. So I don't think it hasn't disturbed the print at all. It hasn't caused like a breeze or anything like that. And like I said, you can run it at 5. I run it at 5, and when the printer's done, I crank it up to 10 for a few minutes. And I'm not smelling anything. Now, full disclosure, disclaimer here. I'm not a chemist. I don't know about air purification. I just read that there's a lot of that activated carbon is the way you get rid of VOCs. That's the only way I could find. There are some industrial grade printer filters. What I saw, there were big boxes and they cost $1,000, $2,000 and up. Don't know if that's necessary. I'm not saying I know, so do your own homework. But that's what I end up doing, and I haven't seen anybody doing this, combining this hydroponic thing that exists. It runs it through the carbon, and that cloth is pretty decent filter. There is talk of HEPA, but HEPA is the VOCs are too small. They get to get through the HEPAs can't handle like a 0.1 micron particle, which is what these VOCs are. But the carbon will actually bind to the VOCs, from what I read. So I'm going to run the fan a little bit. I'll show you the controller. The controller is, there's two kinds. There's a simpler one, and then there's this fancy one with humidity and temperature. I said, why not? I get the fancy one. You could probably get by with the simpler one with fewer features. Granted, this thing is meant for growing plants. It's got automatic timed blower settings and all that stuff. I just use it in a simple case. I just turn it on while I'm printing. So it's overkill, but let me turn it on. And of course, and I'm going to put it on 5, which is what I usually run it at. You can get an idea what it sounds like. It takes a while to start up. They have a slow increase in the air. And that's it. That's what it sounds like. So, that's all I got to say for today. Thanks.